right, welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all so much for joining us today on your lunch break, or if you're not on the East Coast, your morning. My name is Haven Quinlan, and I am the Senior Director of Programming here at the U of SC Alumni Association, and it's my pleasure to get to introduce our host to you all today. But before we get started, we do want to hear all of your questions throughout the event today. So if you have any, go ahead, type those into the chat or the Q&A as they come up for you, and we will get to those at the end of the presentation. If you aren't super familiar with Zoom, there is a panel across the bottom of your screen, and there should be a chat button and a Q&A button on there. So whatever's easiest for you, you can go ahead and pull that up and have your questions ready to go. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce the company and the host of today's event. So since the company's inception in 1999, Premier World Discovery's offerings have grown to more than 80 fully guided global tour programs to 50 countries and 6 continents, which also includes the exclusive European river cruise charters solely for Premier guests. Premier also offers more than 40 guided tours throughout the United States and Canada. Premier World Discovery travel programs include quality hotel accommodations, experienced tour directors and local guides, deluxe motor coaches and transportation, many selected meals, and sightseeing and cultural experiences, all selected to showcase the destination and make you feel like a local. And today's host, Laura Driggers, has worked for Premier World Discovery since July of 2019. She graduated from East Carolina University in 1989 with a degree in leisure system studies and a concentration in commercial recreation. Laura wanted to be Julie McCoy from The Love Boat, but didn't work out. So she just worked with senior adults in different aspects of recreation. Laura used Premier World Discovery as one of the travel companies when she worked with Florence County Parks and Recreation for 12 years, where she offered extended and day trips for active senior adults. Laura lives in Florence, South Carolina, and travels to South Carolina and Georgia, selling group travel to alumni groups and other affinities. She has 3 children, and the oldest is a proud alumnus of the engineering school at U of SC. So welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. So I'm going to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint that we're going to do. So let me get that started and make sure everybody can see this. Okay. Are we good, everyone?
Looks great.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to work with the University of South Carolina Alumni Association, and we will get started. So this trip will be December the 1st of 2022. Let's see if I can play a little music for you. I know it's July, but this is a little French Christmas song to get you in the spirit of a Christmas trip. All right, we'll carry on now. All right, Haven told you just a little bit about Premier, but I'll just go through it. So we do quality hotel accommodations. You're either basically right downtown where everything is, or we're at a resort, and you can see some of the hotels that we use listed below. We include round trip airfare from the nearest gateway. So if you live in Tennessee, and you're alumni and you want to fly, or you live in Columbia and your sister lives in Illinois and you want them to meet you and be your roommate, we would fly them from the nearest airport. We travel in style. We have deluxe motor coaches. We include daily breakfast, usually at the hotel, several dinners and sometimes lunches as well. One of the fun things about, of course, being on an alumni group is that when you have your dinner time, especially the welcome and the farewell dinner, we provide cocktails before we have a little meet and greet with all of the alumni so you can get to know people from other schools. We also have a full-time tour director, which means they meet you at the destination airport, and they're with you 24/7 the rest of the trip. All right, this is how ready I am to travel. The plane hasn't even gotten there yet. So just a little fun slide I like to share. It has been amazing about this trip. We provided this trip, or we designed this trip last year for the first time. And of course, nobody went. So this trip has sold out already for this year. The first date we added, and then we added a second date, and it has sold out as well. And mind you, Canada at this point isn't even open to US citizens yet. So that just tells you how excited people are to travel, and especially on this tour. I just have a picture of Georgia Tech alumni. Usually the alumni groups bring a flag, and the tour director always takes a great picture. So you can see the Red Rocks of Sedona here with the Georgia Tech group. This is just a little bit about Premier. These are our three owners. We've been in business over 20 years, and it's just a great family-run company. We travel by air, land, and sea, and we're based in Redondo Beach, California. But as Haven said, I travel South Carolina and Georgia. These are all the important things that you don't really like to talk about, but it's good to know. So you could just glance at that slide. But this is the most important one. We are active members of USTOA, which means we have $1 million travel assistance program. If by chance Premier World Discovery happened to be going bankrupt or anything of that sort, then all of your money would be covered under this blanket policy. There are only 54 companies in the US that are members of this USTOA. All right, we do quality hotel accommodations. And then we do breakfast daily, welcome and farewell dinners. Sometimes we do theme meals. And then we have professional tour directors. All right, this is just a little blurb. Unfortunately, since COVID, we've sort of added this in, but we do pre-tour health screening where we would send you the paperwork and you would fill that out and bring it with you on the group. We're operating with smaller groups at this point. Face coverings, basically, on the airplanes, you have to wear your face covering. The Motor Coach Association also says that, but I just say that of all the groups that have gone out since April, not one motor coach company has made our passengers wear face masks. If they want to, they certainly can, but it's not mandatory like the airport, like the airplanes. So, all right, tour directors have been, coached on hygiene and physical distancing. All the motor coaches are sanitized. I like to say we thought that they were probably doing this before COVID happened, but maybe they were not. So now they definitely are. All right, we're going to go on to our trip, which is Montreal and Quebec City Christmas markets, 4 nights accommodation. So we'll have 2 nights at the Fairmont Queen Elizabeth in Montreal and 2 nights at the Fairmont Hotel Frontenac, which is in Quebec City. All right, just a little blurb about our highlights. 2 nights at those hotels. City tour Montreal and Quebec City. We'll have Underground City and Notre Dame Basilica. We'll travel via rail train from Montreal to Quebec. We'll do Montmorency Falls and the Giles Copper Museum, Quartier Petit Champlain, which is the neighborhood, and then we'll do the Christmas markets in both places. So this trip includes 4 breakfasts and 2 dinners. And this is what your itinerary map looks like. So you can see we'll be flying into Montreal, then we'll take the train to Quebec City, and then we'll fly home from Quebec City. All right, this is my fancy slide where we're flying into Montreal. And then this is a fun slide. Once you get to your destination and you get your luggage off the luggage carousel, we handle your luggage. So we move it from hotel to hotel. You don't have to do all of that. I like to add this slide in because you are going to a cold destination. So if you're a great traveler and you're used to packing in a carry, you're just going to do a carry-on suitcase, more than likely for this trip, you'll be doing luggage as well, just because you're going to need your winter coat and your boots. We are going to feel like we're in the Christmas area because it's going to be chilly there. Just a picture of our professional tour director. So welcome to Montreal, which is Quebec province's most populous city. And we will talk some more about that. All right, this is going to be your destination. This is the Fairmont Queen Elizabeth in Montreal. If you don't know about these two hotels, they were built by the Canadian Railroads. And then the Fairmont basically has taken over and runs these hotels. They are beautiful. I'm going to show you another picture. This is what the outside looks like of the Queen Elizabeth. They do some really interesting things here. There's 1,039 rooms at the Queen Elizabeth, and on top they have active beehives. They actually employ 3 full-time beekeepers, and the chefs use the honey and everything and all the cooking at the hotel. So it's just a little fun fact about the Queen Elizabeth. Whoops, let me back up. All right, this is the Queen Elizabeth all decorated in her Christmas beauty. You can see Cocky decided to make a stop there and take a picture while he's visiting all the pretties at the Queen Elizabeth. This is one of the bars in the restaurant. And a couple of years ago, they said the chef made a whole gingerbread village out of chocolate. And it's set on the bar here. And it had liqueurs inside the chocolate. So I look forward to that. We'll see if they do that again. All right, this is your view from Montreal City. We will have a city tour. And when I say a city tour, that means we will, be traveling via motor coach through Montreal, but we'll make stops for pictures and we'll get off the motor coach. It's not just a look out the window and see what's going on passing by you as you go through the city. So anyway, Montreal is a very active city. It's actually the 4th largest French-speaking city in North America. So you will enjoy that. It's full of restaurants. It has as many restaurants as New York City. And so you can visit a lot of that. You'll see a lot of wall art. One interesting fact about Montreal that a lot of people don't know, it is also like New York City in that it sits on an island. There are, I believe, 32 bridges that will get you into the city. But right here, you can sit on your Gamecock bench and just view the city from the other side. All right, this is what Montreal looks like at night. And like I said, it has as many restaurants as New York City. So it's quite an active city. Okay, we're going to visit the Notre Dame Basilica. Where this couple is standing is actually where the original basilica stood, but it was not large enough, so they had to buy the property across the street from this original location. And one of the interesting facts is it only took 4 years to build this new basilica. And you have to picture that they could only build from April until October due to the bad weather. So it's a pretty amazing feat. What it's known for, and there are churches everywhere, but it's really known, the basilica is for its Cassavant organ. The inside of the basilica has wonderful sound. And so you can always hear a concert going on. There's choirs. And so you'll just enjoy your tour. This is what the inside of the basilica looks like. If you recognize it, it's because Celine Dion got married when she was on TV. This is where she got married. But one of the really interesting facts about this, and I'll carry on, is when they first built the basilica, all of that blue was glass. And they just thought that was going to be the most amazing thing. Well, the parishioners, of course, the glare was killing them. So they finally said, look, we cannot sit here. We can't see anything from the glare. So they went back in and put in this very expensive blue stained glass windows. But you'll learn when you get your tour all about what the inside means. Look at this picture. It's just beautiful. All right, and then we're on to St. Joseph's Oratory. And St. Joseph's Oratory is actually the largest church in Canada. It is a designated shrine. And every year, millions of people make, they get on their knees, basically, and they climb the 283 steps up to the church as part of their pilgrimage. And that is to recognize the suffering of Christ. And so you will see sometimes if you're there, you will see people climbing on their knees up the 238 steps. This oratory was built in 1904. Oops, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way. All right, here we go. Now, this is the copper dome on the oratory, and it has its own history. You will learn a lot about that when you're there, but it was built in honor of Saint Joseph, who was the patron saint of Canada. On the inside, you will find a lot of crutches where people are laying down their crutches that they have been healed, so you'll enjoy learning all about that. Okay. Next, we're on to the famous square in Montreal City. And this is the main street, which is basically the heart of tourism in Montreal. And the square has all kinds of artists, and you'll see people selling things, and there'll be music going on. Very festive at Christmas time. Just another picture. All right, and then this is one of the many bridges, the Jacques Cartier Bridge. One of the fun facts about this is in the spires on the top, they have like time capsules that they have built into those. And so I don't know when they plan to open them, but that's a secret. So you can see the base of one right here. Right, then you get to tour McGill University. This is actually the arts building, which used to be part of the medical facility, and they kept the cadavers in the basement of the art building. And now they like to say that the lights flicker and there's cold chill throughout the building. You can decide for yourself whether you believe that, but that is part of McGill University's history. And McGill is actually one of the oldest public universities in North America. It was founded in 1824. And a lot of the majority of students that come here are international students. They come from over 140 countries. But one of the most interesting facts that I like is that James Naismith, he was McGill University's first athletic director. If you recognize that name, he came to America, to the YMCA, and invented the game of basketball. So that's a pretty interesting fact. Okay, and then this is a view from Montreal from Mount Royal. And you can see there was some Gamecock fans that stayed here. But this basically rises 764 feet above the city. The designer of Mount Royal Park also designed Central Park in New York City. And a lot of the workers come here on their lunch break. They'll just walk up here, look at the view, and walk back down to work. Okay. One of your stops you will get to visit will be the Riso, which is basically the underground city. It is heated and air conditioned. And when they decided to build this, they thought, we really want people to use public transportation. So they made it cool for the summertime and heated during the winter. More than 90,000 people pass through here all the time. It's decorated beautifully at Christmas. I like to say, be sure to visit the Laura store while you're there. It must be a great store if it's named Laura. I don't actually know what they carry there, but anyway, that's a fun picture to me. This is just some other pictures. There's lots of restaurants there, lots of shopping. All right, and then this is where we'll visit a Montreal Christmas market. And this is basically, you can find any and everything you ever needed or wanted or don't need and just want. So you'll want to make a stop here. We'll actually have plenty of time to visit the Christmas markets. They have mulled wine and hot chocolate and carolers, and you can roast marshmallows here. There'll be Christmas music. And if you think back to last year, what we were all doing during the holidays, we sat at home. We did what we're doing right now. We looked at a computer. You may have visited family, but more than likely you didn't go to any Christmas concerts. You didn't hear Christmas music or see Christmas lights. So this will really put you in the Christmas spirit when you get to visit the Montreal Christmas markets. All right, this is actually what it looks like during the daytime, and you can shop there during the day as well. I don't think it quite has that air of festivity like it does at night, but it is a fun place to be. All right, this is Montreal Old Town, and this is actually the original cobblestone street. It was founded in 1642. And this used to be the fur trading center of Canada. And so the French, of course, were here, and it was full of beaver trading. All right, this is part of the old town. And so there are all kinds of shops here now and restaurants. But Montreal was famous. They used to ship over 20,000 beaver during the season. So they were very famous for their beaver trade. All right, day 3 will take us where we will get on the Via Rail Canada. It's about a 3-hour rail trip from Montreal to Quebec City. This is what the little track looks like. And here you are on your train ride. They do have service just like on an airplane. You can see there's some Gamecock fans that took the ride earlier. All right, and then this would be the Quebec City train station. It is made to look like a castle. They want you to be sure when you get there that you enjoyed your visit. They tried to make the train station as pretty as it could be. And so you will enjoy that train station as well as the ride there. So welcome to Quebec City, which is Canada's walled city, they call it. This is your hotel in the background, which is Hotel Frontenac. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. All right. So this is what the inside looks like at Hotel Frontenac. And it was actually built in 1893. Well, it opened in 1893. And if you recognize it, if you're a Harry Potter fan, it is Hogwarts Castle. But its claim to fame, it is the most photographed hotel in the world. It's in the Guinness Book of World Records. And so as you can see why, it is very beautiful. This is what the inside looks like. And so all of this is brass that is from Canada. The marble staircase, all of the marble came from Canada. So they tried to use all the natural resources when the Canadian Railroad was building this hotel. It's quite charming. This is what they call the Hall of Trees. All right, and this is what one of the rooms might look like that you'll get to stay in. All right, it has 3 restaurants and 2 bars. Some pictures. It also has active beehives, so the chefs use the honey as well as the things that the bees reproduce there as well. So it is a national historical site as well. And so anyway, there you are getting your picture taken in front of your hotel. All right, afternoon 3 will take us, we'll have a day at leisure. And we like to offer a day at leisure. It doesn't mean it's the whole day, but there are people that like to shop. There's some people that like to see the museums. There's some people that just like to sit at the hotel and enjoy themselves. So that's why we like to offer some leisure time so that you can enjoy what you came to Montreal and Quebec City to see. Now, Quebec City is known for its foodies. The picture on the left is actually maple syrup that they boil to a certain point, and then they either put it on snow or ice, and it makes into taffy. And so you're able to have some maple brittle, they call that. You could just get that off the street. And I like to tell people, so remember, you're going to be walking, so you do want to sample all of the goodies that Quebec City especially has for you. You'll be walking those calories off, but you don't want to miss the fact that you have been in Quebec City where all the great food is. One interesting fact, and I saw someone had put that they live in Vermont. Quebec City produces 7 million gallons of maple syrup versus the 700,000 gallons in Vermont. So you can see maple syrup is a big to do in Quebec City. Now down below are some croissants that you can have. And then if you don't know what this is, and yes, that would be French fries with gravy and cheese curds. So you do want to be sure you save room for that. Sample that. This is an Irish pub in the middle of Quebec City. As you can see, it is the old cobblestone building. During the 17th century, the Irish inhabitants came to Quebec City actually before the French did. So it has a lot of people with Irish descent, and you'll learn about that from your tour director. All right, this is actually old Quebec City. This is what the downtown looks like. So you'll have time there. Your tour director will take you there as well. Lots of fancy shops to shop in, souvenirs and everything there. Okay, this is actually J.A. Mousson, which is the oldest still active grocery store in North America. It was established in 1871. You can go in there and buy everything that you need, everything that you want. Thimbles, everybody always collects different things. You can find it in there. The Hotel Frontenac does offer high tea, and they have that at the hotel. You can also find it at different places while you're in Quebec City. High teas used to be quite elaborate. You would have that before your 8 o'clock meal. We've all sort of changed our time of when we eat dinner now, but high tea used to be a very exclusive time of the day. And so anyway, you can have this at Hotel Frontenac if you like. And then these are Caribou coffees in great mugs. I thought I was real proud of them for having those mugs, but Caribou coffee is famous in Quebec City. This is one of their premier cocktails that they like to do. They make this at Hotel Frontenac as well. All right, and then this is just a picture of old Quebec City. You can see the cobblestone streets, so you will have time here. Your tour director will take you downtown. And then on day 4, we'll go to the Albert Giles Copper Museum. And he is famous for all of his embossing of copper. It's actually an active copper mine that's still there. And he does demonstrations, but he did a lot of work for Walt Disney World, a lot of Roman Catholic churches. You can see some of the work right here. All right, and there's some of the copper that's being mined. While you're there, you actually get to participate, and you will be able to make it, they call it sheet metal embossing. And so you'll get to make your own embossing and take that home with you as part of your souvenirs. Okay, connected to the museum is the coffee and confectionery shop. And so to the right, you can see that picture of a cannelli, which is actually a small French pastry, which is flavored with rum and vanilla, and it has a soft and tender custard center, and then that's a caramelized crust on the outside. So remember, you're going to be walking a lot, so you want to be sure you have your cannelli and your coffee to replenish yourself. All right, we get to stop at Montmorency Falls. It does freeze over in the wintertime. Look how beautiful it looks. One of the interesting facts about this, it's just a few miles from Old Quebec City, and it sits at 272 feet high, which means it's actually 98 feet taller than Niagara Falls. Doesn't necessarily look like that in this picture, but it is. This is one of their winter sports. This is not part of our tour, but in your free time, feel free if you would like to do some ice climbing. I wouldn't, but you can. So, and up above is actually a walkway that is open in the wintertime. So if you choose to, you can actually take the walk across the falls. All right, afternoon forward is our Quebec City tour. And so we'll hop on the motor coach and we'll be traveling around Quebec City. And as I said earlier, Quebec City is known as North America's only wild city. And there are many charming neighborhoods and cobblestone streets. You'll see street vendors. You'll get to stop and talk to the enchanting shopkeepers as you travel along. And then our next stop would be the Plains of Abraham Battlefield Park, which actually is where the 7 Years' War took place. And now it's just a place where a lot of winter sport competitions take place. We will see these buildings, they're all over the area, but they are actually called martellos, which were the small defensive forts that were built for the British Empire. And this is where they kept all of their weaponry. Just a beautiful picture that area in the wintertime. And then we're on to the Citadel. And this actually is still an active military base. It's been active a base since the 1850s. This Citadel is so large that it took over 30 years to build. And it still now houses the Royal 22 Regiment of the Canadian Armed Forces. This is a museum that is connected to the Citadel, so you'll get to visit that and learn all about the what has taken place there. This was just a fun picture. Instead of KFC in Canada or Quebec City, they now have PFK, as you can see. So Kentucky Fried Chicken's left its mark on Quebec City. And then there's never a stop without Tim Hortons. If you don't know Tim Horton, he was a famous hockey player in Canada, and he has opened these up all across Canada. And they are famous for coffee and donuts. There's always a line. It doesn't matter what time of the day, but it's always worth it to get a great donut and a cup of coffee at Tim Hortons. All right, then we get to visit the Christmas market in Quebec City. It is a holiday destination. It's basically like going to the German and Austrian Christmas markets, except you don't have to go across the ocean to get there. So you will be able to do that. This is a little video. I'm going to see if it will play real quick, just to give you an idea of what the Christmas market looks like. All right, I'm going to stop that. Or I hope I'm going to stop it. All right, we're going to carry on to our next slide. I think I'm going to. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay, here we go. I got rid of it. Okay, so as one TripAdvisor said about the Montreal and Quebec City Christmas markets, he said, it's so enchanting. It's the real feel of Christmas. Now, it may be very hot outside to most of us here in July, but that certainly got us in the spirit. And in this picture, you can just see some of the carolers there. All right, just some more. All right, and then this is the most famous neighborhood in Quebec City. It's known as Canada's prettiest pedestrian street. It's like fairyland sparkles, especially in the wintertime. You'll have time to tour this area. Okay, and then our farewell dinner will be at a downtown restaurant with European flair. We'll want you to taste all the good food that Quebec City has to offer. Now, on a side note, if you're not one into tasting foods of different cultures, we always serve, there's always American food that you can taste as well. All right, there you are enjoying your farewell dinner with all your other travelers. And then we're going to fly home from Quebec City. Passports are required. Of course, we're going to Canada, so you want to be sure to have your passport. I'm going to leave this slide up for just a second. This is everything that is included in this trip. So I'll just give you a second to see that. That will be on your flyer as well. Now, this is the real kicker. Your average temperature in Montreal in December is 27. Quebec City is 23. Let's remember, we want to feel like it's Christmas. We all sat at home inside and with our computers last Christmas, so we're ready to enjoy it. So December of 2022, you could be getting ready to travel where it feels like Christmas. All right, your tour rates are $3,075 per person double occupancy. If you're going as a single, you would add $650 onto that. We do have triples. You would take off $30 on the per person double rate if you decided to go as a triple. The loonie is popular in Canada, but you can always use American money as well. We do have a booking discount. This was part of our COVID incentives. So you can actually save $200 per person off of that price that I listed. If you make your final payment by check, you could do your initial deposit by credit card. But if you make your final payment by check, then you will get $200 off of that price. Reservations are first come, first serve. And I just give you a little background. I was telling Haven earlier, we designed this trip for the first time for last year. That did not happen, of course. That was 2020. So we started selling it for 2021. We sold out the December date, and we added a late November date. That date has also sold out for this year. And basically Canada just released yesterday that they open starting August 7th to US vaccinated citizens. So it's been amazing to me that this trip has sold out with Canada not even being open yet. So once you make your deposit, then you have your space, and it's $300 for a deposit. You'll have the flyer, and this will be on the inside of your flyer. You'll put you and your roommate up there on one sheet. We do offer travel protection insurance. You don't have to purchase it through Premier World Discovery. You can get another company or whatever you like, but this is a little bit about our plan. It's also in your flyer, so you can read about that. Just a little blurb about COVID and travel protection. A lot of people that had trips planned for 2020 said, oh, I've got travel protection insurance. I'll be able to get all my money back. Everything's fine and dandy. Well, the world considered COVID to be like a hurricane or an earthquake. They called it a natural disaster. So really, travel protection didn't protect you from that. But what it did do was, if you got sick, say you get COVID and you're sick from COVID, then travel protection would protect you from that. So travel protection basically protects you if you've gotten sick, if a family member passes away before the trip or while you're on the trip. It covers all of that as well. All right, we do have something called Compass Club. You're automatically enrolled in that. So if you travel with Premier on another trip, you automatically get $100 off per person. You don't have to apply for that. We give you that automatically. It's just basically like a loyalty credit. But along those lines, I do like for you to know, we will not be sending you things in the mail. I mean, we'll send you your invoice, but we don't market to individuals. We will only work through the Alumni Association. So don't think we're going to be like, let me say, Viking Cruise Lines, that once you ask about a trip there, they send you something in the mail all the time. We don't do that. We only work through group travel. All right, so I say thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. All right, you can also email me if you don't have your questions ready now, but you can email me or call me at any time. All right. Okay, we're back.
Reminder, everyone, if you have questions, you can type those into the chat or the Q&A, and there's a panel at the bottom of your screen that will pull up both of those buttons. Laura, if you want to put your contact info in the chat.
Okay.
And I am happy to do so as well. I can always connect you with Laura or ask her questions. And I will share our travel website as well that will link to some more info about this trip.
All right, I put my name and my phone number and my email address if you want to do it. Send me any information, ask me any questions. So I see somebody has done a Q&A. Is the price the same regardless of which airport you fly in and out of? Great question. I'll type the answer just so that it's in here. And I say no. I basically based the airfare out of Charlotte. That's usually how we do. But, it depends. It's not a big difference, but so the real answer is no. Okay. Okay, somebody asked, will you travel with us from Charlotte? Is that me or Haven? I'm not sure which one you're asking. I will not. I'm actually just the salesperson, unfortunately, but do call Premier and say you would like Laura to go with you. But no, seriously. Haven, I'm not sure if y'all are sending a person from South Carolina. Some alumni associations do, some don't. So do you have an answer for that, Haven?
So that answer will depend on how many alumni from South Carolina we have traveling on the trip. If we did send someone, they would likely fly out of Charlotte since that's the closest large airport to here. And then, as Laura mentioned, you'll meet your travel guide at the airport in Canada. Is that correct?
Yes, that is right. You will pick up your luggage at the luggage carousel, and your tour director will be standing there. She'll have a Premier World Discovery sign. She actually will have everybody's flight information, he or she, I should say, not she, could be either one, but they will have all of your flight information. So they'll know that, Haven is coming in at 12:35 and Laura's coming in at 1:35. That tour director will have all of that. And if your flight gets delayed or something like that, that tour director will know all of that information as well. So they will be in touch with Premier. And so we will not leave you at the airport. We will know if your flight is delayed or anything along those lines. All right, is there accessibility for the disabled? Yes, I say that, and it depends. So the motor coach would not have a ramp to get on. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but and just another word is like the cobblestone streets. As I say, the United States makes sure that all handrails, streets, everything are easily accessible for everyone. Not all countries are that way, and so it will be cobblestone streets. If you have a walker, then it will certainly fold up and go under the motor coach. I do have some travelers that have those small, basically portable little scooter things, and they use those. Sometimes travelers carry those as well. There's not somebody on the trip that can help you. I mean, the motor coach driver will get it out from under the bus for you. But, if you come and want to bring somebody with you that would push you in your wheelchair, you can certainly do that as well. I laugh. We had a trip that went out in September of 2020, COVID time, but we had some that went, and a lady broke her foot, and she even had travel insurance, but she was so tired of staying home that she decided she would get her friend to go with her, and push her in a wheelchair on the whole trip. So that did happen. So we have people that do carry their wheelchair or their portable scooter with them. Did that answer your question?
We also had one person asking if you could share the itinerary screen again.
Oh, certainly I can. Let's see. Haven, I'm not, I could go back to my PowerPoint, I guess is what I should do. Let me go back to that and do the itinerary screen. I'll go, that's down the bottom. Y'all have some great questions. I appreciate it. I'm very excited about this tour. I hope really and truly they're going to send me on it. So, how did you go away? Hang on one second. I apologize, y'all.
You're fine. And Laura, I'll answer one that just came up as you're doing that. So someone asked how you become alumni. So just to make sure you're clear, it's for alumni of the University of South Carolina. So anyone who attended here as a student and graduated from the university, you can bring, say your husband or whoever was an alumnus and you are not, of course, you're welcome to come travel as well. But that's what we mean by alumni, not necessarily an alumni of the travel program.
Right. So can you see this, Haven?
No, I do not.
You do not see this. Okay. Let me go back a minute then. And I assume you don't see it now then.
No. Did you click that little green share your screen button?
I did. Let me go back. Share screen. All panelists. No. Yes, I did. I had it up there.
Well, if you will send me that presentation, Laura, I can attach that with the email that'll go out. And it's going right here as well. So
is that
ways? Yep, I can see it.
Okay, there we go.
I'll make it to share the presentation as well in the follow-up email that'll go out within the next 48 hours.
Okay. All right. Is that good?
Yeah, feel free to leave that up for a minute if people
sorry. Oops.
just if people want to read through it or take a screenshot maybe.
Hang on a second, I'll pull it back up. I'm used to doing things in there we go. Can you see it, Haven?
No.
No, once again. I'm getting there, y'all.
There is a question about student travelers. So from the Alumni Association side, we're happy for you to join the trip. If you're a student, that would be separate from your student tuition. So you would pay the travel fees if you wanted to go. From our side, we are fine with that as long as Premier is good with that. We've had students ask about traveling with some other companies that we work with as well, and they do that with them too.
Yes, we are good for that. Haven, are you seeing the screen?
I am not.
Laura. Okay.
There will be a recording of this session sent out. So you'll be able to pause the screen and look at it. And I'll be happy to attach the presentation to that email as well.
I think I got it again. Here we go.
Yes, there you go.
All right. I'll leave that up a few minutes. Yes, students are fine to go. This is an alumni only date. I probably didn't say that. So this will be all alumni. And I could just share some of the alumni associations that we work with across the U.S. Georgia Tech, of course, is one of mine. And we work with NC State. I always like to say East Carolina because that's where I went to school. Penn State, Navy, Texas A&M, Texas, University of Texas, Utah. I mean, I could just, we work with alumni all across the U.S. So we don't work with that C word right now, in the other part of the state. So
all right, well, if anyone has last minute questions, you can quickly type those for us. Take another look at the itinerary for the trip. But thank you to everyone for joining today. I know this was really informative. So hopefully you got a lot out of it and you're excited to go on this Christmas markets trip. And thank you so much, Laura, for hosting today.
Thank y'all for having me. I do a lot of talking, so sometimes I might talk too much, but anyway, travel is so great. It really is. And I was telling Haven, really and truly, um, what from April until now has happened in the travel world is phenomenal. I mean, I still have people signing up for Christmas trips for 2021. Yeah, it's something else. So come, let's go. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, sounds great. All right. Well, thank you so much again, and y'all have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Haven.
Bye.